Ooh, Ken, it's doing a weird thing. Hello, everyone. Look what my, do you think it's stuck on something? What my screen's doing?
It is very weird. No? I wonder if it's just...
You think it's the mat?
Yeah.
No. Oh, there it stopped.
Yeah, I think it's the white in the mat. It's having a hard time focusing.
It can't focus?
What's it look like?
Well, now it's not even finding internet over here. Okay, so let me put it in there. So I can't use my mat. It doesn't like the mat. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Let me see. Psychedelic, Karen said. I love it. All right, I don't know. Look, if I put it in, it does it, right?
Yeah, I just don't like all that white on the screen.
That's weird. It doesn't like the white mat. I know I've used the white mat before. Must be my phone. Okay, hello, everybody. Yes, it doesn't like my white mat for some reason. So, plan B. We'll just work on this. It's every day's an adventure with Facebook. So hello everyone. Oh, Edmonton. It's the mat. Yay, technology, right? I don't know what it was doing. Nope, there's no ceiling fan in my room. So we'll just do it without the mat, and I'll try to work on this surface. So let me see if my surface is clean on that. So hello everybody, and happy Thursday afternoon. Hello, Holly from Victoria. Man, we got everybody all over the place. Hello, welcome. Okay, so what we're going to be doing tonight, guys, is we're going to be playing with some stencil techniques. We're going to be playing with stencils. And so we did a shop hop. And this is the stencil that we had for all the shop hop attendees got this stencil. We do still have some available if anybody wants to purchase them. They're $6.99. And what it is it's a custom stencil. It was exclusive that we created. And why I love it, and I love stencils, is when you use a stencil, you only use bits and pieces of it. So to me, this is 3 stencils in one. So you get 3 different pieces that you can use bits and pieces in this stencil. So love that fact. So the lovely Amy Brock, I'm not sure if Amy's on or not, we gave her one of these stencils and I gave her no rules. I said, have fun. Just create, have fun, whatever you want to do. And she came back, and I'll show you these amazing cards. And she used the deco foils. She came in and she heat embossed. She did texture paste, inking through the stencils, removing ink through the stencil. She made a plaid. There she is. Hi, Amy. Made a plaid with this portion of it. She cut out the stenciled items. So there's so many different items on there that we created with this stencil. I might have to go back on replay. Nobody is watching on the comments of the stencil, or Facebook messages or something. I'll make sure to give everybody a stencil that wants one. So that's what we did. 3 different things. So I'm going to kind of show you what Amy did, how she played with it. And then, we're going to play, and I'm going to show you some things on how to do them. So what I love is tags. I love tags. Let me grab some of my tags really quick. So I love tags. These are my tags. So this is how I was taught when I went to Ranger U. So back, I don't know how many years ago it was, quite a few years ago. I got to go to Ranger Inc. and they had something called Ranger U, Ranger University. And they taught us this is the way they taught. And I had an aha moment and I was like, oh my God, I love it. This is how I'm going to teach my technique classes. This is how I'm going to organize my stuff, because, you know, we always do techniques, or we take a class, or we do something and we're like, oh my God, I love that. That was so much fun. And then we don't do it and we forget about it and we forget how we did. And we're like, ooh, I love this, but how did I do that? I don't remember how I did that. And then that's a bad example because I didn't put it on there. What I do is on the back, I'll either handwrite what colors I used, so I know what colors of inks I used, because I'm like, ooh, what pink was that? What yellow was that? So I write on the back what it was. Okay, I love that color palette. We're going to use it again. And then on here, I gave it a name and how I created this layer. So this is all of my technique tags. And this is how I used to do technique classes at the store way back when we first started doing technique classes. And then I felt like we did all the techniques. But now I feel like we have so many new customers, so many new people getting into mixed media, art journaling, technique, stamping, stenciling, that I'm going to bring these technique classes back. And we're going to do them again with added new techniques to them. So all of these are different techniques that I kind of group. This grouping was all oxide inks. So this was all techniques I did with oxide inks. On the back of them, I have how I did them and then what inks I used. So that's kind of what I'm going to show you guys tonight. We're going to do some techniques and we are going to do them onto the tags. So the tags I have are just the distress tags. I was looking for my packaging, but I must have thrown it away already. These are the distress tags from Ranger, and I love them because they're a great size. They take the inks, the mediums, the sprays, all of that. And you can then use tags on your cards. You can use them on your scrapbook layouts. You can put them in your journals. There is just so much that you can do with these tags. And they're a great way to play. So maybe you play with a technique, or maybe you play with something and you're like, ooh, I got this new product today. What does it do? I don't know. Play with it. Experiment with it. It is only a tag. If you don't like what happened to it, it's just a tag. It's a piece of paper. But you played, you experimented, you had fun, you saw what it did. Then let's say maybe you don't like the tag. That's okay. Die cut a butterfly out of it. When you die cut a butterfly or something that's a silhouette out of ugly stuff, it turns into some of the most beautiful die cuts and most beautiful embellishments. So always keep those tags, keep those papers, because you can use them for another layer or die cut or something else on them. So the first tag, the first one we have here, this is inking through a stencil. So these are oxide inks. You can use I love blending brushes. These are the Tailored Expression ones. I love them because they're color coded. I don't clean them. I keep the brush families there. So they're always ready to go. This is ink blending. So it's just kind of, you can use your brush. You can use the pouncers. I like the pouncers too. These little guys just store in here. You pounce it on top of your stencil. It applies ink perfectly, and it doesn't hang up in the stencils or anything. So that's some ink blending on both of those. These are die cuts here, also had ink blending on it that it just matches and coordinates. Here we have ink blending on an embossed piece. So this piece of paper was embossed, ink blended through the stencil, and then she fuzzy cut. So she did ink blend these guys and fuzzy cut those out. So let's just do some ink blending and see how easy ink blending is. I love this palette. It's got kind of a red, orange, and a green. So let's go with that. And for this purpose, it doesn't matter what kind of inks you have. I always say use what you have. If you have oxide inks, great, grab those out. If you have distress inks, great, grab those out. Picket Fence, Catherine Pooler, Versifying Claire, all wonderful inks. So grab whatever you have. There is no right or wrong. Maybe you look and you're like, ooh, I like the oxide inks. I like what Kourtney did. I want to add that to my repertoire. Absolutely. Add something new. It's about using what you have, learning how to use it, and maybe adding other stuff to it too. Okay, I'm looking for my, there we go. Crackling campfire is what I was looking for. I want some crackling campfire. There's some spice marmalade. I like that. We've got some yellow. Maybe that green is too bright. Let's see if I have a different green. Maybe that one's too dirty. I think I like Twisted Citron. If it's too bright, you know what? We can always add on top of it. Always add on top. I could sit all day just picking through inks. Okay, we're going with that palette. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our stencil, and since I don't have my white mat to work on, I'm going to work on this. Hey, Ken, do you see my dirty rag somewhere? And that's not code name for anything else. That white towel that I used to clean my inks up with, is that in the kitchen or in the dining room somewhere from retreat still?
I do not see it here.
Did maybe a schnauzer take off with it? You know how she likes to help me. Okay, so I'm just going to put this guy on my magnetic board, and I'm going to kind of fasten him down just to hold it so it doesn't shift too much on us. And I'm going to do kind of the same idea that she did here. And we're going to start, and I'm just going to use my pouncer. So this is Crackling Campfire. Sorry, guys. Dad went outside without Coco. And I'm just going to pounce it. And look how easy and fast. So you just pounce, pounce, pounce. You can apply ink to an area. And this is just pouncing oxide inks through a stencil. So really super easy. I think that's enough color. I'm adding a lot of color because these are, there's no color yet in my pouncers. They're kind of clean. So there's that. Then I'm going to go into my Spice Marmalade. So that's my orange. Hello, Tracy. Isn't the stencil beautiful? So this is a stencil that we custom designed. We've started creating our own stencils now, and it's like 3 stencils in one. Okay, so there's our first stencil, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of clean this off a little bit so I don't cross-contaminate into my next color. And I found this trick. If you take rubbing alcohol, put it in a sprayer, and then wipe your stencils off, they dry really fast because you know rubbing alcohol dries really fast. If you hit it with water, you have to wait for the water to dry, and then you risk putting wet spots onto your stuff. So by using rubbing alcohol, it's already dry. I don't have to worry about a wet spot onto my thing. Kathy said her baby's looking out the door for Coco now because Coco was barking. The wind is crazy. It is blowing stuff all over the place right now. Okay, so we're going in with the orange, and we're just going to put that orange on. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of yellow. And we're just doing kind of that variegated color. And we're just building a background. And this background, I can put some butterflies on it later. I can put kind of whatever I want. So let's do fossilized amber, and that's going to be a yellow. So now we're bouncing in with some yellows. And so I'm using oxide inks. Oxide inks are a hybrid ink of pigment and dye-based inks. so they do stay wet a little bit longer. They are opaque, so you can use them on white paper. You can use them on dark paper, and they show up on both. Yeah, sorry, I don't know where my cotton rag is, so I'm just kind of making do here with the paper towel. My assistant did not find it. My assistant. Okay, and like I said, we do have these stencils available for purchase. They are $6.99 if you want to grab them. You'll have to call or message the store or stop in because they are not up on our website. Not yet. I guess we could get them added to the website if some of you guys are wanting them. Okay, so what did we do? We did yellow. How's my variegated looking? Ooh, I think I want... Yeah, we're just going to go right into green. I was looking to see if I wanted more yellow, but I think I'm good with that. So now we're going to go into green, which is going to be Twisted Citron. Twisted Citron. And then we're going to pounce. See how easy it is to pounce these colors? These are the picket fence pouncers. They come in, the handles are colored. That way you can do your colored inks and not have to worry about cleaning them. You just have one for each of kind of your color families. This is my light greens, there's dark greens, there's pink, blue, orange, teal. So you've got your color families. And then it just stays in there. And then look at how pretty that is. And there is our ink blended background. And then later I can add a butterfly to it. I can add some other backgrounds. I can kind of build it whatever I want. Yeah, Amy, correct. After I already did the one, I was like, ooh, I should have done that. So yes, all the ink that was on my stencil, normally what I would do is flip that and not waste that ink and put it somewhere else. Okay, so there is that stencil. And then on here, if you look, the last thing on here is gold flicks, which I love gold flick. I'm going to bring my splat box in. I love to splatter ink. There's just something about just splattering some ink that just makes it wonderful. So I love the watercolor palettes. This one here is the Crafter's Companion one. It's called Sunbeam. It's got the gold in here. I could do different colors too, but I'm just going to take my water and I'm going to mix it in there to give it kind of wet and flowy. And then I'm just going to splat it. Pick up some more. I think I'll add a little bit more water. And I'm not splatting the whole thing. What I like to do is kind of go in a zigzag pattern. So it looks like it's planned and not that it's just I spilled something on it kind of thing. Okay, and there we go. There is the first one with just using ink blending pouncers, kind of doing matching colors. And there's the background. So it is ready to ink the edges. It's ready to do a butterfly. I mean, there's so many different things that we could do with that now. And then, so there's that card. And then that's how we ink blended. And then on here, same thing, just different color palette. And then Amy fuzzy cut those. So if you want to fuzzy cut it, you can do that. Correct, Lorraine. I do not mix my inks. So oxide inks are a mixture of a hybrid and a dye-based ink. Distress inks, just the regular distress inks, are just dye-based inks. So I do not use my oxides and my distress blending tools, pouncers, brushes. I have a separate set for each one because oxides are a very different type of ink. And I do not mix my different inks with the same ones. Yep, I do use 2 separate ones because they do not play well in the sandbox. Okay, any other questions kind of with those? Wasn't that fun? Any other? And I do love the pouncer. So this guy is great now because he's got his green on there. All you have to do is just cap them. You can throw them in your bag, throw them in your tote, sit them in a thing, and great way to store them. And you don't have to worry about getting ink on anything else. Oh, everybody's puppies are all active now. Thank you, Coco. You got everybody all excited. Okay, the next one that we'll kind of play with, because it will take a little time to dry, is this one. So this is fun, because here we use the swirl. And the swirl's great because you can use the swirl this way. You can flip it and get it going the other way. So you can always flip your stencil to do the positive side or the negative side. So maybe you want it coming out of the corner. Maybe you want one coming out of the corner and then the other one going up here, which I like to do that. Have one going this way, one going that way, and then put something in the center of it, which, ooh, I might just do that on the tag like that. So you can play with those. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of create a background. This has a background on it. So we're just going to grab a tag and we're going to lay some ink down. And I'm going to switch to a different color palette because I'm also going to do my foiling. And what color do I want to do with that? Maybe a blue. Ooh, maybe some blues together. That would look good on top of that, right? Ha, we're going to do that. Okay, we're doing blues. So we're just going to lay some colors down. I've got this time peacock feathers. These are still oxide inks, so still working with the oxides. The oxides, for sometimes if you guys, I know some people say they have hard time blending inks. The oxides do smooth out over time. So I find they're easier to blend. You can let them set and then the ink as it dries kind of works itself out and not really thins itself, but smooths it. It smooths it out. So I'm just kind of laying some ink down. I've got Salty Ocean. I love blues. I love to work with cool tones because I find cool tones are easier to work with. They're not in your face. They just blend really nice and they're really smooth to use. So this one's Salty Ocean. There's a huge color palette on that. So there's the blue. I'm going to go back in with some more peacock feathers. My go-to, because they're really nice and bright that I love, is the peacock feathers, the Salty Ocean for the blue and the teal, and then pick raspberry for the bright pink. The bright green is the Twisted Citron, and that color palette adds some black to it, and oh my gosh, it is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay, so I laid some ink down. I've got fingerprints. The oxides do kind of leave fingerprints, so let me try to get that out. There's my inks. Hi, Cindy. The stencil I'm using is a stencil we designed. So we custom designed and made these stencils for a shop hop event we did, but we do have more available for purchase, and they are $6.99 and they're available. They're available at Scrapbook-N-Memories. Okay, any other questions? Oh, they're asking about the thing. Yeah, Pink Fresh Slimline frame dies, and Pink Fresh has lots of great slimline dies. like that one. Okay, so there's our oxide tag. Something else that is cool about oxides is they're reactive to water. And you'll kind of see on here, see how there's some little splotches, some little negative is what it is. So you take your, just water, all it is, and we're just going to flick it on there. So what it does is the water activates and oxidizes with the ink. So we're just going to kind of activate that, and then we're just going to take a paper towel, kind of rub it over the top. It's going to pick up that ink, and look what it just did. Is that not beautiful? So quick, easy techniques to do with oxide inks. This also works with distress inks and most dye-based inks, but you got to make sure you put down a good amount of color to kind of get that going. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is the foiling. So let me grab that material. And it is called Tacky When Dry. This is a gel medium. It's by the Crafters Workshop. It's great. So we're going to put it on, and then we have to let it dry a little bit. And I think I want to do it off of here. And then I think I'm going to flip and do it off of there. But then I might be running through wet stuff. So maybe I don't do two. I really want to do two. I'll make it work. We're going to start with this one. We're going to make it work. Okay. So Tacky When Dry, what it is it is a, it's like a paste. You are going to take a palette knife. Anybody else sniff their craft supplies? I do. You're going to take a palette knife, and you're just going to apply it through the stencil. Now, I'm not worrying about masking anything off. If I get it somewhere that I don't want it, oops, oh well. Okay, and then we'll just put the excess back in the pot, clean my knife off, and then I'm going to clean my stencil off really quick. So I have what I call a stencil bath. Okay, a stencil bath, and I'm going to throw it in there. And let me clean this up really quick. And so what this is going to do is we're going to let it dry. And as it dries, it's going to change color, and it's going to get tacky. So just another cool thing that you can do with stencils. Fix that a little bit. On how long it takes to dry, it depends on a lot of things. It can depend on the humidity of where you're at. It can depend on how thick you put it on, but it will change color. So I'm going to do this, and we're going to set it to the side, and we will come back to it. But let me clean off my stencil really quick. And like I said, I have what I call a stencil bath. It's basically a shoebox, one of those plastic shoe boxes with water in it, and a little scrub brush. And I just lay my stencil in that and kind of scrub it. So the nice thing about a stencil bath is when you're using stencils, maybe you don't have a sink near you, or maybe you don't want to clean them off all right away. As long as you throw it into the water and it stays wet, you can clean those stencils later. You don't have to clean them right away, just as long as they're wet. But if you let the medium dry in your stencil, you now have an embellishment. You have an embellishment because, yeah, once it is dry, it is done. Okay, any other questions? This is good. This is kind of our first craft slash demo slash Q&A, and I kind of like it. It's kind of fun. We might have to try some more out on that. And make sure, and I'm going to put it in the group too. Make sure you guys are a part of Scrapbook-N-Memories Scoop group. This is our private Facebook group where you guys can post your creations, your makes, and things that you've created over in that group. So I flipped the stencil to kind of get it going in a different direction. And I'm going to very carefully kind of put it on here without messing up that image up there. Okay, and then I'm going to put more of it. You can already kind of see it starting to change. It's starting to change a little translucent. That's how you'll know it's dry, is when it goes completely translucent. And then you can stick your foils on it. You want to make sure it is 100% dry slash tacky before you stick your foil to it. Otherwise, the whole packaging, all the foil is going to stick to your project. It's not, you want the foil just to stick to your foiled part, and the adhesive, you don't want it to stick to everything. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of layer that on there. I'm going to lift and let it go. And it might have mushed. Yes, this should be on our website. If it's in stock, it should be on the website. If not, I'll make sure to get more on order. But it is called Tacky When Dry. Tacky When Dry. And I'm not sure if it has those hyphens in there. If it does, I need to take it off. Otherwise, that's going to be hard to find. But it's by the Crafters Workshop. So that is kind of using stencil paste, inevitably, through your thing. And I blobbed a little bit there, but that's okay. It's because I lifted it. And we're going to let this dry. I'm going to set it to the side, let it dry, and we'll come back to it and put that foil on top. So let me again clean my stencil off. What is the name of the medium you're applying? Oh yeah, Deborah, got that. I do not use a heat gun on the Tacky When Dry because it kind of cooks it. And yeah, just let it air dry. Now for that's a good question, Lorraine. Let me do another one. Let me do another tag. There's something called bubbling your butter that I absolutely love. And that's cool. So let me clean my stencil off. I just love the stencil. I love that it has 3 different designs on it. So it's like you have 3 different stencils in one. You get more bang for your buck. I love it. And like I said, we custom design and custom cut these. So I'll have to see what other ideas I can come up with, what other designs we come up with on stencils, and see, because you know sometimes there's oh, I wish I had and we can do that. Okay, so I'm going to dry the stencil. We have not used the stripe yet, so we're going to use the stripe next. That's kind of a fun one. And what we're going to do is we're going to do something with stencil paste. So let me find another sample here. And this sample here is just stencil paste. That is just using stencil paste. She did it in an area, let it dry, do it in an area, let it dry, kind of do it in an area. This is, I think, Spellbinders. Oh yeah, Spellbinders and Pink Fresh Sentiments on there. And it's done on like a black watercolor cardstock. And so let's just do stenciling. And what we're going to do, doesn't quite go top to bottom, does it? Maybe I just do the stencil. Maybe we're just going to do the stencil in one spot. So let's just do that again. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining us for kind of our impromptu stencil kind of demo night. I said I'm going to do it for an hour. I could probably talk about stencils and different techniques for like 3 hours, but I know your time is valuable, and we're just going to, I won't take your entire night. Okay, so we're going to lay that down. Let me find a stencil color. Ooh, this one's kind of pretty. Denim. Isn't that pretty? Okay, it's just a color, Kourtney. Seafoam. We're going seafoam. See, I love blues. I love blues and teals. So I'm going to kind of just move my material. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So let me grab another palette knife. I don't know where my other one went. And we're just going to apply a paste through a stencil. Easy peasy. When you're applying paste through the stencil, you want to try to not do what I'm doing, going over it more than once or more than twice. But I'm just trying to do a quick little one area, and I'm not really taping anything off because I don't want to waste time. So this is the Crafters Workshop paste. We do carry it, and we also carry the Simon Hurley paste. We've had a lot of people ask for those. So that is perfect. Okay. And then, so let me take this off, and we're just going to lift, and I'll put that in. So that is using, that's easy. That's all it is to doing stencil paste through a stencil. Now, something that's really cool to do with these is called Bubble Your Butter. I think I could probably do an entire class, maybe one of those technique ring classes, just on doing tags with Crafters Workshop butters, and maybe we do. So let me grab a heat tool really quick, because this is it flat, which is really cool, and you can totally leave it that way. But another technique that is fun is called Bubble Your Butter. Sorry, I can't talk tonight. Bubble Your Butter. So that is what we're going to do here. So let me grab a heat tool. This paste is, are you wanting the color or the, this one is called Seafoam is the color, and it is stencil butter from the Crafters Workshop. They did a whole beach kind of effect of paste that are beautiful. I'm using the Ranger heat tool, which doesn't get as hot as an embossing tool, so I might have to get let me get the embossing tool out. It gets hotter faster. And look at it go. So this is called Bubble Your Butter. And it comes to life. And look how it bubbles. So the more you keep it in one area, the more it bubbles. Kind of makes it look like pearls. If I would let it dry a little bit first, it would have less bubbles. But if you heat it right away, you get big bubbles. Look at that. Isn't that fun? So that is bubbling your butter. And that is with the stencil butter. Does it work with every paste? I don't know. Give it a try. It's just paste. Like I said, it's paste. It's a tag. Experiment with what you got. See what happens and see what it does. But look at that. Is that not cool? Okay. Where did those other tags go? Okay, so let me throw that one out of the way. We still have our other guy. He's still kind of drying. I can still see he's got a little whiteness to him. He's not quite clear. So we're going to come back to him. He's still a little wet. Will the bubbles crack later or under pressure? I mean, if you push on them, yeah, they'll crack. If you put force on them and push on them, they'll crack. Oh, the other tag was still in my splat box. So there's our inky blendy tag. Fun. Okay, so let's see what else we got. There's just so many cool things. This one, you guys can kind of get the idea of it. You can get the gist of it. Oh, my stencil's still dirty. My assistant did not clean the stencil. And by assistant, I mean me. Okay, so this one is really fun. So this is making a plaid out of that stencil. So what she did is she did 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 4 different shades of pink ink. And you can kind of see, you lay your stencil down on that angle and you go in and you ink it up light pink. You shift it, you do a little bit of medium pink, then you take your stencil and you flip it, you do a dark pink, you kind of go up, do a darker pink, and you just kind of keep crisscrossing it, and this is how you can make a plaid out of a lined stencil. Isn't that cool? So that is a plaid, and then same thing on the strawberries, so you can do it on a background piece of paper, and then go and die cut your pieces. So just kind of do like a full sheet of paper, and then go back and you can die cut your pieces out of it. So that is just taking a stripe or a plaid, and a stripe and turning it into a plaid, which is, again, really clever and really super cool. I will post these pictures of the cards on our Facebook page, so make sure that you're on there. I'll take pictures of them and get them posted. Here's a plaid, a fun plaid. So what is cool about this stencil is you can do the strawberry. Strawberry is, sorry, Amy, I didn't mean to put you to work today. Lawn Fawn. The strawberry dies are from Lawn Fawn. We also have some really cute ones in right now from Waffle Flower. They came out with some cute stripes. So another thing that we can do is create stripes. So here, Amy made stripes across the card. And of course, you can put your thing on and you can make stripes. Or you can mask it off, kind of like she did. Or something I was thinking about, which I'm just going to play with it and see what happens. I was thinking about doing like a larger stripe or kind of variegating them. So we're going to see what happens here. I am going to thread the stencil. I'm going to weave it. We're going to weave it and see what happens. And what colors do I want? We're just going to stick with these cool colors because they're right in front of me and I like turquoises. So yeah, you could use small blender brushes. You could mask it off. I have the pouncers, so I'm just going to keep pouncing because you know what? That's what's right in front of me. And I want to see, I'm just curious what kind of look I can get from threading it. Something cool is, and maybe I do that on top, we can stamp through it. So something else that's cool, you can put your stencil down, you can apply your ink, and then you can pull the color up. So you can pull the color off of the one. Okay, there's that. Not cute. Oh, I should have left it threaded. So now I'm just going to, let's just keep shifting. I want to play with this. This is going to be fun. We're going to see what happens here. Because now we're making, technically, a new stripe. A new fat wide one. And the color I'm using is Peacock, and this is just the oxide inks. Oxide inks. And you know what? I will have Ken load these stencils to our website. We'll get them loaded, and we're going to call it Shop Hop Stencil. That way you guys can get them online too. We will add them. We'll get them added to the website. I can hear him in the living room like, oh, what did she volunteer me for now? I am really liking this. Okay, this is cool. I just kind of threaded it. Isn't that fun? I am going to go find a random stamp script. You know I love my script stamps because I want to stamp through this for effect. Okay, I'm going with that. I'm loving what we've created. So now I'm just going to pull it through. Zoop, and look at that. Is that not cool? Okay, so you can leave the stencil on top and you can have skinny lines like we have here. Or I threaded the stencil through and I got fat lines with skinny lines in between it. So isn't that kind of a cool effect? Now, something else I like to do is stamp through stencils. So stamping through stencils is a fun technique also. I just love stripes. I feel like stripes are very versatile and there's so much we can do with them. Okay, so I'm just using my rubbing alcohol again because it dries quick. That's already dry. Let me find a random stamp really quick. I'll be right back. Whoops. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. It's just a random script from Creative Expressions, I think it is. And my block is kind of dirty. Okay, so there's that. Let's move Amy's out of the way so we don't get something on it. And let me think how I want to do this. I want to do the stamping so it only shows up on the turquoise part. So we're going to mask this off. And let me just find a scrap piece of paper. And our other guy's still wet. He's still here. We're waiting for him to dry. Once he's almost kind of there, I might hit him with the heat tool and just see if we can speed him up a little bit, because he's still wet. He is still wet. You know what? I'll just use a paper towel. Okay, so I am going to, let me do my magnetic thing so it doesn't move on me. I'm just kind of playing now. Now I had no rhyme or reason in my head. This is kind of more of a, ooh, I wonder what happens if. Sometimes you just have to allow yourself to play. Just play and see what happens. Again, it's just a piece of paper. If it didn't work, oh well, it was just a piece of paper. But sometimes you have to allow yourself to play. Okay, this stamp is a random stamp, and sometimes I stamp it upside down. So I purposely put an arrow at the top so I know which side is up on this one. And because I'm not on a platform that's squishy underneath, it might not work. Nope, see, it didn't work the way I wanted it to because I don't have anything squishy underneath. So, plan B. I really like what it did. Okay, plan B. I need something squishy underneath. I need a squishy. Squishy, squishy. Yeah, so now this is just, like I said, this is creative play. This is a what if. Right side up. Okay, now I'm going to try to like press on it. See if we can get, I might have picked a design that was too tight. Well, not what I wanted, but you can kind of see the gist of it. We got a little bit of a random text on the turquoise part. So not total epic fail, but not what I was wanting. Not an epic fail, but you know what? I got some ink on there, and I feel like that ink needs to not go to waste. So, let's see if it transfers. It'll be backwards, but it's a random script, so I don't care. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of water. See, now we're just playing and having an aha moment. Okay, I just hit it with a little bit of water. Let's flip and see what happens now. A little bit of ghosting. So, not what I wanted, but I think I picked a stencil that was way too fine. Way too fine. Okay, how are we doing on time? Oh, I got about 5 minutes. Okay, so I hope you guys are learning some stuff and kind of learning some different techniques and things you can do with stencils and playing with stencils. And we still have this guy, and he has some ink on him. I'm going to go ahead and continue with some black because I feel like it's already on there. Okay, so we're finished off with some more black on there. Debbie, the stencil we made is a custom stencil. I will put a link to our website to purchase it on our Facebook page after the live. After the live, I will put a link for it. It is a custom stencil that we created. It's a Shop Pop stencil. Okay, so there's that. And I love stencils that have more stuff on it. So it has 3 different things on it. So another cool thing you can do with stencils, and I'm going to do it with the leaves at the top, is to remember how I spritzed water and it did an effect to it. We splattered it. Well, this time I'm going to lightly spray water through the stencil. I'm going to take the paper towel and kind of mop it up. And then when we lift it, there we kind of have our leaf pattern showing now. So you can spray water through stencils to do kind of some fun mop up. And I probably didn't have enough ink down there, but you kind of get the gist of it. Kind of keep continuing it on. This sprayer is probably not the best sprayer to be doing that technique with because it is not a fine sprayer. But I'm loving the effect we're getting. The black ink I used was the Hero Arts Intensified ink. So it is intense. It has a lot of ink to it. Intensified. I also like to use the Ranger Jet Black Archival. That is one of my favorites too. Okay, so there is, I love this. So this, we've got multiple layers on there. We did the stripe of the stencil. We did some resist techniques with the water where you can, or not resist, ghosting is what it's called when you can pick that up on there. So you can pick those up and let's see what other samples. So this is the sample that Amy did. You can see the background here. She used the swirl, and that is the same technique that we did, that I did right here, where you apply the ink down first, you put the stencil, you spray the water through it, and you pick up the ink. And that's what I did for the leaves on here. Okay, so I did on the leaves right there. And let's see if there's any other cards. Nope, that is all the card samples that Amy did. So like I said, I will take pictures of these and upload them onto our Facebook page so you can see those. If you're not a member yet of our Scrapbook-N-Memories Scoop group, make sure to join that because that's where we post ideas, inspirations, our ATC swaps. I find lots of cool techniques and things on Instagram and different reels that I post over there. If you guys have the Karen markers, I posted today the color charts that you can print off and do the Karen markers with. I do have one more technique I think I might do on this. Let me hit this guy with a little bit of heat and see. Oh, it's okay, Roberta. See if I can dry him a little bit. Let me get the heat tool, not the other one. Let me dry. I'm going to hit him with the heat just a little bit because he's almost there, but he's not quite dry. And I do want to show you guys how cool that technique is. If I would have known it was going to take that long, I would have, I just got dog hair on there. I got to get that plucked off. I would have done one in advance and put it to the side. I know I love color charts for markers because, and pens and inks and all that, because first off, I want to see what the color looks like. So by putting it on a color chart, you can see exactly what the color looks like and how it's going to react with other stuff. And another thing for the color charts is you know what you have, so you don't double up on a color. Oh, yay. Ken just put the link up there for the Shop Hop stencil, so you can do that. Karen, Ken, will you throw the link up for Scrapbook-N-Memories Scoop Group? It is our private group. That's where you guys can share ideas and inspirations and stuff. We do have one question. You just have to ask who our little fuzzy mascot is. You can put Coco or Scruffy on there. It's just our way of keeping the spammers out. Kathy, the dog hair is essential or the tweezers? Let me try. Sometimes if you hit things from the back, it'll dry it a little bit faster too. If you lift things up when you're drying them, it'll dry faster. If you leave it on your table, it kind of makes a like a humidity zone. It makes it all humid underneath. Both in your house, right? I have one more thing I'm going to do. I like another thing that's fun to do is, and Amy did it on here too, is embossing inks through stencils. So I love the Wow embossing ink. They are my all-time favorite. It stays nice and juicy and wet, so you can have time to work with the powders and stuff, and it sticks really good. So it is my favorite embossing ink. I know Versamark is an ink that's been out forever, but I feel like it's just so dry, or I have to re-ink it every time. So it's not my favorite. It's okay, but the Wow embossing ink is my all-time favorite. I got it really thick on this one spot, so you can kind of see it's almost disappearing. That's how you know it is. That's how you know it's done. I still have a spot up here that's opaque, so I'm just going to set it to the side for the moment, and we'll do one more technique. So I'm going to pull this guy back out. I feel like he needs a flourish or something on him, right? Maybe coming from the top. Oh yeah, right there. A flourish coming from the top, or maybe coming from the bottom. No, we're going to do it from the top. So I'm going to grab my Wow embossing ink, and you can do pouncers with these, which are wonderful too. I have my little ink blending tool right in front of me, so I'm just going to do that. I do have one that I allocate just for my embossing ink, and that's all I use it on, because embossing ink is sticky, and it is hard to clean that sticky out of your brushes and stuff. So I just leave one as... I just sacrificed one. One is for embossing ink and embossing ink only. Same thing for the pouncers if you want to. Use one for those. I think Ken's getting hungry. He's heading to the kitchen. It's like it's dinner time. Yep. It is dinner time, so pardon if you hear him cooking dinner here. Okay, I'm going to throw that back in the water. Okay, so I put my embossing ink on there, which is really cool. You can kind of see that effect. But I'm going to put embossing powder on it. And I'm using a coffee filter. Don't use the plastic glitter trays. The plastic glitter trays is what adds static electricity to your powders. And then that's what causes it to stick in areas that you don't want it to stick. Okay? Oh, is that not beautiful? I love this flourish. I love flourishes. There's just so much you can do with a little flourish or a little filigree or something like that. A little swirl. Beautiful. Okay, so another way to use stencils. Use them with your embossing inks. Use them with your embossing powders. Oh, I got a little that I don't want. Man, I am really loving all the layers to this. I love doing layers. Layers over layers over layers, and they just pop. And then you're like, ooh, how did you do that? And how many layers deep is that? And again, it's just about playing and having fun. And look at it going. Oh, right? So I hope everybody learned at least one thing, or you're at least pulling one kind of tip or trick or hint or something away from tonight. Because tonight was kind of just to kind of introduce myself. Also give some ideas for the girls that got the Shop Hop stencil, some ideas of how to use it. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Oh, there's something about gold and teal. I love it. You know what else it needs now? Maybe, does it need gold splat to it too? I don't know. We'll come back to it with something. Oh, we got this guy. We got to go back to this guy. Yeah, so I will totally put a Tim Holtz gear or something on here, or a sentiment. It'll get something on there. I just love it. And maybe I do another one across the bottom. On there. Okay, so this guy is what we did with the tacky stuff. This is the tacket. So then I'm going to take foil. This foil is adhesive foil. So there are 3 different types of foil, really, or 2 main ones in the industry. One of them is a heat activated foil that works with like your glimmer machines and your glimmer plates. Then there's the foil that works with the toners and the fuse tools. And then there's the foil that works with sticky surfaces. It works with tacky stuff. And this is the foil that works with tacky stuff. And then you're going to say, well, how do I know what type of foil I have? Most of the time it'll say on the packaging if it's heat activated adhesive foil. If you have a roll of foil and you don't have any markings or anything on it and you don't have the slightest idea, cut a piece of the edge of it off and just try it and see what it does. See what happens. And see that one spot was wet up there. So some of these didn't quite stick. So you can, I kind of like the worn look, but if you want it to be more permanent and stick it down, you just lay it back down and rub it. The foil I'm using is, again, the Crafters Workshop. This is their foils. They come in these, that looks like 6 inches, right? 6 by 6 squares. And then this, you can still use, you can use the negative, you can use those pieces for something else. So never throw anything away. And look at that. So that is using at the beginning we used it, Tacky Wind Dry Gel Medium. You just have to let it dry, and then you have that. So what I'm going to do when I'm done with all these tags to kind of do it for my repertoire, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. And I'm going to write my instructions of what techniques I did or what I did. If you want to, you can do that. Or I might just turn this into a completed tag and call it. But what I love to do is play with techniques, play with products, play with colors, see how they act, see how they resist. And then on the back of them, these are all my technique tags. On the back of them, I go in and I put what colors I used, how I did the technique, because a lot of times we don't remember and we forget about cool techniques that we learn in classes or events. So sometimes what I do, if I take a class and I learn a new technique, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to go put that on a tag right now and write the instructions down so I don't forget how to do that on those. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I hope you guys enjoyed the demo tonight. I hope you got some ideas and inspirations. Let me clean my stencil off again on that. And I hope you follow us on Facebook and make sure to join the Scrapbook-N-Memories Scoop group. Make sure to follow our classes. We offer lots of classes, lots of events. My passion is mixed media and art journaling, and I love to play with techniques. I love to play with things like this. So I hope you guys sign up for one of our classes. And join us again. We are back to doing in-store classes, but we are also doing them virtual. So all the classes are virtual. If you can't make it to the class live, you guys can do it virtually from the comfort of your home. We always post the videos so you can go back and watch them later. This video will be posted too. So if you're like, ooh, what did Kourtney say? How was I supposed to do that again? You can go back and watch this video again and take notes if you want, or craft along. So this, like I said, is the custom stencil that we made. We're calling it the Shop Pop stencil. If you participated in the Shop Pop, you got one of these with your passport. If you did not participate in the Shop Pop, we do have these available for purchase. It's a 6x6 stencil. They're $6.99. I love it because we put 3 different designs on it. So it's like you get 3 different things out of one bang for your buck. So those are up on our website. Ken put the link in the comments so you guys can jump on and purchase them there. And before I head out, are there any questions on that? No, Clipper Street does not have the stencil. It does not have they do not. But we could probably put it in an envelope and do it postal. It just might take a while to get to you because I know the post office, once it crosses the Canadian border, I've heard it's very, very slow. But we could always probably just throw them in a manila envelope for you guys. And you'll just give us a call or email and we'll get you guys taken care of. So thank you everybody so much for tuning in. I hope you had a fabulous night. Like I said, I hope you learned some techniques. Play with your stencils, see what you guys come up with, and post your creations over in the Scrapbook-N-Memories scoop group. So have a fabulous night and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.